All right, so get this. We're diving deep into a story about a West Point cadet
Oh, wow.
who got a surprise leadership test
Interesting.
from President Trump.
Okay.
Yeah, it reads like something totally made up, like straight out of Hollywood.
Right.
But for this deep dive,
Yeah.
we're going to treat the information as factual.
Okay, sounds good.
So just setting the scene.
Mhm.
West Point, the history, the tradition.
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden,
Yeah.
an unexpected presidential visit.
Oh, wow.
And this wasn't just any visit.
Okay.
This source material says
Yeah.
no teleprompters, no prepared speeches.
Really?
Trump just shows up.
Just shows up.
Yeah, shaking things up.
Wow.
And then picks out a cadet, Brandon Ellis,
Uh-huh.
and just point blank asks him, you ever doubt yourself?
Oh, wow. That's a tough one.
Right. Like, you're at West Point,
Yeah.
you're in formation,
Yeah.
the president's looking right at you.
Mm-mm.
Talk about a pressure test.
Definitely a test right there.
And Brandon, being a good cadet under pressure,
Uh-huh.
says no, sir.
Right.
But Trump calls him out,
He does.
tells him everyone doubts themselves.
Yeah.
It's how you handle it that counts.
Right.
And that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Trump decides to put these cadets through a surprise search and rescue mission.
A surprise search and rescue mission.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we've got a simulated combat zone,
Okay.
complete with a smoke screen,
Uh-huh.
a water trench,
Oh, wow.
a collapsed structure they have to search.
That sounds intense.
Oh, and a ticking clock, of course.
Of course.
It's got to add that pressure.
Yeah, for sure.
But there's another layer to this.
Yeah.
Trump specifically chooses Brandon.
The cadet he was just questioning.
Yeah, the cadet he just questioned about self-doubt
Mm-hmm.
to lead this mission.
Oh, wow. Okay, so.
Yeah, so he's not just testing their skills and teamwork.
Yeah.
He's testing Brandon's ability to lead under pressure
Right.
to overcome those doubts
Exactly.
that he was just asked about.
That's a good point.
So the source material really goes into detail about the mission itself.
Yeah.
It's intense. They've got this dense smoke screen.
Uh-huh.
They can barely see or hear each other.
Oh.
They have to cross a water trench.
Right.
One of the cadets falls in.
Oh, no.
Then they find the wounded soldier
Mm-hmm.
hidden in this collapsed structure.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds chaotic.
Very chaotic.
And through it all,
Yeah.
Brandon has to make decisions.
Right.
Do they wade through the water?
Yeah.
Or use a rope?
Mm-hmm.
How do they even communicate in the smoke?
Yeah, how do you even do that?
Right.
Right.
How do they safely extract the wounded soldier
Mm-hmm.
with time running out?
Yeah.
And remember, this is all happening with the president watching.
Oh, yeah. That adds a whole other level.
Talk about pressure.
I can't even imagine.
So how does Brandon handle all of this?
Yeah.
Does he crack?
Right? Does he just fall apart?
Yeah,
Well, actually, he steps up.
he does.
Yeah. He might have hesitated at first,
Okay.
but he assigns roles to the team, adapts to each challenge,
Yeah,
and they manage to complete the mission.
they do.
They even managed to keep the wounded soldier from being dropped.
Oh, wow.
During simulated gunfire explosions and uneven terrain,
Wow.
on the final stretch back to safety?
So it wasn't perfect,
No,
but they got it done.
they got it done.
And I think that final stretch
Mm-hmm.
is a great example of what we were talking about earlier,
What's that?
adaptability.
Right.
It wasn't part of the plan,
Yeah.
but they adjusted on the fly
Yeah,
and got the job done.
exactly.
And Trump sees that.
Okay.
After the mission, he gives the team feedback,
Uh-huh.
acknowledges their mistakes, but praises their perseverance.
Right.
But then he pulls Brandon aside.
He does.
Yeah, just for a one-on-one conversation.
Interesting.
And I think this is where we
Yeah.
start to see some real leadership insights.
Okay.
Not just about completing tasks,
Right.
but about what it takes to be in charge.
I see what you mean. Yeah. What do you think?
Absolutely. So Trump points out Brandon's initial hesitation,
Mm-hmm.
but also commends him for taking ownership of the mission.
Right.
And he tells him,
Mm-hmm.
leadership isn't about always having the right answer.
Yeah.
It's about making decisions
Mm-hmm.
and accepting the consequences.
Wow. That's pretty heavy stuff
All
for
right.
a young cadet to try to process.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But it's a core principle of leadership, though. The
Absolutely.
decisions you make have an impact,
Mm.
and you have to own them.
You do.
But Trump doesn't stop there.
He doesn't.
He throws Brandon one final curveball.
Okay, what is it?
2 sealed envelopes,
2 sealed envelopes.
each containing a different outcome
Okay.
for the mission.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay, I'm listening.
One envelope says,
Yeah.
you fail the mission but save your team.
Okay.
The other says,
Uh-huh.
you complete the mission but lose a man.
Oh, my gosh.
Talk about a no-win situation.
Yeah, there's no winning there.
Just tough choices
Just tough choices.
with real weight.
Right. And remember,
Mm-hmm.
he's still just a cadet
Exactly.
to be put in this position
Yeah.
by the President of the United States to
Right.
make this kind of choice.
Yeah.
It's almost cruel,
It really is.
wouldn't you say?
It's definitely designed to push him to his limits.
Yeah.
So what does Brandon do?
Right. What does he do?
He chooses an option, right?
Yeah. He has to choose.
Which one does he pick?
Which one?
Well,
Yeah.
he doesn't pick either.
He doesn't?
No. Brandon throws the decision back to Trump.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Arguing that he gave the order,
Mm-hmm.
so he should be the one
Oh, wow.
to live with the consequences.
That's a bold move.
It is.
It really is.
And it leads to some pretty revealing feedback from Trump.
I bet.
But we'll dive into that after a quick break.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, we're back. And
Yeah.
we left off with Brandon
Mm-hmm.
refusing to choose between those
Right.
impossible outcomes.
It was quite a cliffhanger. Yeah.
But it's more than just a dramatic moment, though.
Right.
Right? It's like a turning point
Yeah.
in Brandon's understanding
I think so too.
of leadership.
Yeah.
Remember at the beginning, Trump asked him about self-doubt.
Uh-huh.
And I think this is where Brandon starts to move past that.
How?
Well, think about it. He's faced with this impossible choice,
Yeah.
right? And he could have easily taken the safe route.
Picked an envelope.
Yeah, picked an envelope, let fate decide.
Right.
But he doesn't.
He doesn't.
He pushes back,
He does.
challenges the authority figure,
Wow.
forces Trump to confront the weight of his own decisions.
Mm.
That takes some guts.
That's a good point.
He's not just blindly following orders anymore.
Right.
He's thinking critically,
Yeah.
and he's not afraid to speak up.
Even to the president.
Yeah, even to the president.
So how does Trump react to this?
Well, he doesn't get angry.
Okay.
He doesn't shut Brandon down.
Right.
In fact, the source material kind of hints at
Mm-hmm.
a subtle sense of approval.
Interesting.
Yeah, he emphasizes that real leaders
Yeah.
make the hard calls and accept responsibility.
So by refusing to choose,
Yeah,
Brandon actually passes the test.
exactly.
Wow.
He demonstrates a deeper understanding of leadership.
Deeper than maybe even he realized.
Yeah, maybe even he realized at the time,
Right.
he's not just thinking about completing the mission.
Uh-huh.
He's thinking about ethical implications,
Right.
the human cost.
Yeah.
He's putting principles above blind obedience.
And this is all coming from a cadet who just hours earlier
Yeah.
admitted to doubting himself.
Yeah, it's quite a transformation.
It really is.
It's a reminder that leadership isn't some fixed trait.
Yeah.
It's a process.
It is.
You learn,
They adapt.
you face challenges
Right.
that push you beyond your comfort zone.
And sometimes
Yeah.
those challenges come from the most unexpected places.
Like a surprise presidential visit.
Exactly.
But this story's not over yet.
Oh, it's not.
No. Trump had one more lesson for these cadets, and I think it ties everything together beautifully.
Okay, let's hear it.
He addresses the whole group,
Mm-hmm.
emphasizes the importance of acting decisively,
Okay.
even when there's no clear right answer.
Right.
He tells them to own their mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
take the hit, and keep moving forward.
Right.
And most importantly,
Yeah.
he reminds them that leadership isn't about personal gain.
Okay.
It's about serving something bigger than yourself.
That's a powerful message.
It is.
And it's something that resonates far beyond the walls of West Point.
Absolutely.
We all face situations
Mhm.
where we have to make tough decisions,
Right.
where we doubt ourselves,
Yeah.
where we have to step up and lead.
Even when we don't feel ready.
Exactly.
So this story,
Yeah.
while unique in its setting,
Yeah.
really highlights some universal truths about leadership.
I agree. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We had.
We unpacked the story, explored the twists and turns, analyzed some pretty profound leadership insights.
did.
But what does it all mean for our listener?
Right.
How can they apply these lessons to their own lives?
Good question.
Let's shift gears a bit
Okay.
and talk about the practical takeaways.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we've spent this whole deep dive, like really dissecting this story.
Yeah.
This cadet's encounter with President Trump at West Point. It's a wild story.
It is.
But like, it's easy to get caught up in the drama of it all.
Right.
But the real value here
Yeah.
is in the leadership lessons,
Absolutely.
right? What can we take away from this
Mm-hmm.
and apply to our own lives?
Exactly.
It's not just about entertainment.
Right.
It's about challenging our own ideas.
Yeah.
About what leadership really is.
Do it looks like in the real world.
Yeah, 'cause we often think of leaders as these like,
Larger than life.
larger than life figures.
Always confident.
Always confident.
Always knowing the right answer.
Right. But this story shows us something different.
It does.
Brandon, like at the start,
Yeah.
he was full of self-doubt. He hesitated, he made mistakes.
Right. Everyone does.
But he went through those challenges.
Yeah.
And he grew from them.
That's the important part.
Yeah, he learned to adapt, to make decisions under pressure, and to own the consequences of those decisions.
It's a much more relatable picture of leadership, I think.
It is. It's a human picture.
Right. Okay.
It's not about the title or the position.
Yeah.
It's about action.
Taking action.
Stepping up when you need to.
When the situation calls for it.
Making the tough calls.
Even when you don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly. Like, remember the smokescreen scene?
Oh, yeah.
He had to choose wade through the water or use the rope.
Right.
No time to overthink it.
Just got to make a call.
And we all face those moments.
We do.
Maybe not with smoke screens and ticking clocks.
Right.
But moments where we have to lead.
At work, in our families, even just in our own lives.
Exactly. And in those moments, we get to choose. How do we respond?
Do we freeze up?
Right? Do we let doubt paralyze us?
Or do we step up even if it's scary?
And that's what's so inspiring about Brandon's story to me.
Yeah.
He didn't let self-doubt stop him.
He rose to the occasion.
He did, even when faced with that impossible choice.
And that choice with the envelopes, it's a powerful example of leading with integrity.
He could have just passed the buck.
Easily.
But he didn't.
He stuck to his principles.
And forced the president to own the consequences.
A lesson in accountability.
And courage.
Absolutely. It takes guts to stand up like that.
Especially to someone like the president.
Especially when you're young.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that we all have a voice.
We do.
And we shouldn't be afraid to use it.
Even when it's hard.
Yeah.
So for everyone listening,
Yeah.
the question we leave you with is this.
Okay.
How does this story change your view of leadership?
What parts of it stuck with you?
Yeah, what lessons can you take from Brandon?
And use in your own life.
We want you to think about that.
Maybe even share your thoughts.
Yeah, down in the comments.
Let us know what you think.
Because remember, leadership's not a destination.
It's not something you arrive at.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
We're all constantly learning, adapting.
Figuring it out as we go.
But stories like this, they can give us that spark.
That inspiration.
To take the next step on our own leadership path.
Keep learning.
Keep growing.
And keep leading.